Morning, Market Snipers. This is Jesse. We're back again on another live stream early this morning. We have a lot to cover today. If you're new to the channel, awesome, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. This is a newer channel. I've been covering live streams for a little over a month right now, every single weekday, Monday through Friday. And we have, like I said, we have a lot to cover. So the first half of the stream, 15 to 30 minutes, we're going to go through a bunch of charts. We're going to rock and roll through them, including Bitcoin, NASDAQ, maybe the Magnificent Seven, probably Ethereum, Solana, and Chainlink, right? Just to name a few. So we'll get into all of that. If you're a subscriber, you can comment what asset you'd like me to chart, and I'd be happy to do so for you. Just comment the symbol and comment the asset as well. That way, if it's not on my sniper watch list, then I can search for it fairly quickly and not stall out too long. So what's happening? Bitcoin is down another 0.74%. It's been correcting since the reversal candle 10 days ago. We've been talking about that. We're going to cover it more, but we're going to jump into some other charts real fast, and we'll circle back to Bitcoin. We'll circle back to Ethereum, Solana, probably Chainlink. Take a quick glance at Magnificent Seven. Not too much is happening yet on Magnificent Seven. It continues to bounce and could be putting in some future bearish divergence. So we'll cover all of that. Our goal is to hit 100 likes. We got very close. We didn't get very close. We're getting closer and closer to the goal of 100 likes. Help me, help you, help me. Let's keep this thing rocking and rolling here. So let's look at the NASDAQ, right? Even if we've been covering this every single day, I like to do a quick recap, especially, retrace what we're watching, what we're continuing to watch, and are we still kind of on track, right? So this is what we're going to look at here on the NASDAQ, kind of watching, will RSI put in a lower high again, right? It would have to take out this lower high here if it doesn't. So it's into key resistance. It's into a key retracement target as of now. I'm going to take that off, take the RSI off for now, just to so we can zoom in here and you can see it a little bit better on the chart. But the recap is we had the bearish divergence. We talked about it. We covered it on the X app and the Discord. Then there's a lower high. Then the breakdown hit target one. And then we started to do the live streaming back around here, talking about, will it put in a second lower high, right? And so we were watching on the very first few live streams together. We were watching it, talking about, will it put in that second lower high? Then it broke down, and it did. And price came all the way back down and actually took this level out, right? It closed below it. So a second lower high. This is a low, right? Taking out this low, and then this low took out this low. So it's not only is it putting in lower highs, but I haven't really been covering as much, but it's putting in lower lows as well. Lower low, a sneaky lower low, right? So I haven't been covering as much, but only been covering the lower highs. But so I wanted to point that out. You got a low, you got a pivot point here, you got a lower pivot point here, another one here, and even another one here. So pivot, lower, 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 right? With some bullish divergence. So we're expecting, this could even be a short-term double bottom, right? Wick and wick, just like it was kind of like a topping pattern here. And now we're just waiting for it to see if it stalls out, right? There is a big push up, a lesser push, and you can kind of see it's like, if it doesn't close back above here and starts making a run, right, you can see where it could kind of start stalling out. And we'll find out if it puts in that third lower high in the near future. Too early to call it. Obviously, it's still bullish, right? The weekly chart is still bullish on the weekly chart. It's one of the, it's lagging. The NASDAQ futures is lagging compared to, like, say, SP 500, Dow Jones, Russell 2000, gold, and silver, in my opinion. You could throw Bitcoin into there as well. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back, Caesar, Aldo, Gert, and Aboria 03. Did I say that correctly? Hopefully Aldo will almost miss my morning routine. Don't miss Olsen, Olsen. Got it. All right. So I'm gonna mispronounce people's names. I apologize in advance. I'll probably have to say this on every live stream, so get used to it. So Aldo, thanks for being consistent misspelling my name on purpose, so that I don't feel bad about mispronouncing people's names. It's not my forte. So let's get back to it. Will it put in another third lower high? It's put in 3 lower lows. So now we're looking for the third lower high. We'll see. We'll find out. It's too early to call it on the NASDAQ, but if you look at the SP 500, right, had the lower high, lower low down here. And then is it going to put in that next lower high here? Too early to call it, right? Too early to call it, but it would be a lower high than here, right? So we're just kind of watching and waiting patiently for that. The Dow Jones looks a little bit more bearish, right? That candle as of right now, the daily candle has not closed, so be aware of that. But as of right now, there was never a buy signal on the Dow Jones, so that's why I say it seems like it's, the NASDAQ is lagging SP 500, Dow Jones, because the Dow Jones and the Russell 2000 look more bearish, right? So if you were to jump over to the weekly chart, you can see that there was a weekly sell signal where there was never a weekly sell signal on the NASDAQ as of yet, right? As of yet. Although, could we look? Yeah, we're going to go through all the comments, put all your, thank you for putting that in. Nugget Nug T, right? I knew that was a gold miners ETF, but that really helps me because for search purposes. So thank you. We'll definitely cover it all. Rick, I struggle in pronouncing proper names also. Yeah, I apologize for it. I wish I could pronounce everyone's name correctly, right? But we'll just stick to what we know best. And if Aldo keeps misspelling my name, I love it. Makes me feel better. So there was a sell signal. We're kind of, I think I accidentally removed, let's see, show dots. Let's see. All right, let's put the trending dots back on. So the trending dots on the weekly chart are still trending downward, right? So it seems like price is kind of letting things catch up on the Dow Jones to the downside. The daily candle is looking more bearish, right? It's still bearish on the weekly chart, still bearish on the daily chart. Seems like the trending dots, it's just kind of letting the moving averages and the trending dots catch up. Seems like it's leading the way to NASDAQ. Same with the Russell 2000, right? Russell 2000 and Bitcoin have led the way in the past of major corrections. I've noticed that. Even November 2021, looking at Russell 2000 and Bitcoin they led the way to the downside. And then shortly after, within a couple weeks, the NASDAQ and the rest started to follow, right? So we're getting towards the end of November. I can't remember exactly. End of November. I remember coming to conclusion. It was like 2 a.m. Thanksgiving evening. It was keeping me up at night. The charts, I was thinking about it. I'm like, is this going to be an overall bigger correction other than Bitcoin correcting and having bearish divergence in the Russell? And then sure enough, by mid-December, I was texting the immediate family saying, hey, I'm not your financial advisor. Talk to your financial advisor, get a game plan going for your retirement accounts. But cash is a strategy. Only one person responded to my text message. That was my mom. And she called her financial advisor, went to cash. And, the next thing that happened was on the NASDAQ, we had a 37.5% correction, right? So good for her. Good for her. But I'm not the financial advisor. Her financial advisor had to go to cash. And, she only made like, I think 5 or 5.5% on a CD, I think. And she locked it up for like 10 months. but it was better than losing 37.5% of her value on that correction. So keep going. Oh, back to what I was thinking about. We got sidetracked there. Russell 2000, right? Let me know how we're doing. Someone be the moderator on how we're doing on likes. Help me out, keep everyone informed. Let me know. So the Russell 2000 on the weekly chart had this reversal candle, then a sell signal, kind of battled it, a retracement back here, putting in that lower high, another sell signal, and now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the 6th bearish week, right? It's still trending downward. You can see here that, we had that RSI sell signal there, kind of late to the party, right? But the EMA on the RSI is continuing to trend downward, right? MACD had that bearish crossover as well, is in bearish territory. It's also below the 0 line, so you can kind of see all that playing out, right? Go to the daily chart. As time goes on, as the higher time frames become more bearish, you'll see that these bounces get sold off more and more, and the bounces become less, right? It's not some massive rally. Then it becomes a lesser of a bounce, then a lesser bounce, and then a lesser bounce, right? So seems like this bounce could be over and could be putting in another lower high as the weekly chart continues to be bearish, right? The weekly chart is back below the 200-week moving average, right? So is this kind of letting us know? Is this kind of leading the way? Are we going to see these longer term bearish targets to the downside, right? Remember, many stocks have come back to retrace to the March 2020 lows. Major stocks. We're talking about Amazon. We're talking about Meta, Netflix. We're talking about Disney. The list goes on and on and on. So will the Russell 2000 come back down to hit these larger targets to the downside? If you've missed this video here, I'll probably do a follow-up video, but definitely go check out Will the Stock Market Crash that I put out 2 weeks ago. Definitely check that one out. And then how will it impact Bitcoin? So I do talk about that. I spent 25 minutes on it on a Saturday. So definitely go take a look at that. Don't forget to smash the like button on that one. And then also I covered the fractal on Bitcoin 2 days ago. Check out that one. And of course, will we see Bitcoin hit 38,000 or 24,000? I think that one was a good one as well. Still worth watching today. And we're getting closer to that 24,000 versus 38,000. And I had actually put on what I thought we were going to do. And I, spoiler alert, I didn't think it was $38,000, right? So that's the Russell 2000. Let's take a quick look at gold, right? This is the weekly chart. There's currently a reversal candle, but that doesn't mean the bottom is in, right? It's possible, but it's too early to call it. And the week isn't even over yet, right? The week closes tomorrow. So the great thing about it, and what I love on this, is that, we get the pending sell signals on the sharpshooter candles, right? So the sharpshooter candles, it tells us pending sell signal. It tells us pending MACD bearish crossover. It tells us pending reversal candle, right? I didn't want to put all that on there of pending reversal candle, but this reversal candle could disappear, right? Because it's a pending reversal candle and it doesn't close until tomorrow. So this was a big move down. It's still bearish on the weekly chart. It's coming back up into the EMA after hitting 37 on RSI, right? It was a big move down, right? So now it's kind of getting a retracement, letting the moving averages catch up, letting the red trending dots catch up, letting the EMA on our RSI sharpshooter indicator, right? Kind of letting everything catch up. So will this end up being some sort of a bear flag or some sort of another short the bounce opportunity? And will price come back down to target 3, similar to silver, right? Silver not only went back to the 200-week moving average, but price went below the 200-week moving average. So is gold, slightly outperforming? Probably. Is gold also probably lagging time-wise? I think so, right? That's what I'm thinking. Silver, right? We're getting to silver. We had that weekly close and then a second weekly close. So it seems like it's kind of like leading the way by 1 week on gold. So we had that weekly close below the 200-week moving average. So Gert, yeah, you got it, Gert. We'll definitely take a look at the second half of the stream. We're going to keep rocking and rolling here. We're going to get through everyone's comments. We're going to look at Cardano, Solana, Ethereum, and Chainlink, just to name a few. Let me go ahead and move that up so I don't forget. Let me move it up to the Chainlink area, right? Okay, so silver. So we got silver. We've got Russell 2000 closing below the 200-week moving average, right? Will Bitcoin get back below it as well? That's one of the questions that we're continuing to ask, right? So it is currently below. We're expecting retracements. We're expecting bounces along the way. However high it gets back up, maybe it doesn't even reach back above the 200-week moving average. And in hindsight, this could always be a bear trap, but it is bearish right now and it is trending downwards right now, right? So it seems like any bounces right now, it would still be a short the bounce type of scenario, right? So that's what we're watching. The DXY is still bullish. Ooh, let me take a breath. Let me take a breath. Oh, we got some longtime snipers in here. Good evening, Jesse. Or afternoon for you. Sorry. No, it's morning. It's only 9:15 a.m. here. So DXY still bullish on the weekly chart, right? Had the reversal candle off of the 200-week moving average. But it doesn't mean we're not going to get a short-term retracement, a short-term bounce, possibly back to the trending dots. We did have some shorter-term targets mapped out here. We'll see if that happens or not, right? We had some shorter-term bearish divergence, and it could put in a lower high temporarily, meaning that we get a retracement back down to, here or here where the trending dots are. Maybe the DXY will find support and then come back up and hit this fourth target that never got hit. 3 out of the 4 targets to the upside got hit. 3 out of the 4 targets to the downside got hit. And then so will it continue that theme? Will the DXY, possibly hit a few targets to the downside, get a retracement, find support, and bounce back up there? So it's too early to say. It is still bullish on the daily chart. It is still bullish on the weekly chart, but there are signs, excuse me, there are signs that, MACD had a bearish crossover, RSI sell signal, there is bearish divergence on the daily chart, all while the weekly chart is still bullish. So when that happens, my main thoughts are some sort of a retracement on the daily chart, find support while it's still bullish on the weekly chart, and then continue up, possibly hit this target, and then we'll see from there. Will that be like a longer term macro low, right? Or will it hit all three or all 4 of those targets? Hit 3 targets so far. Will it hit all 4 targets, break through it, retest them, and then flip the resistance into support and continue to make a new high? We don't want to assume anything. We're just focusing on the next level and the next level and the next level and the next level. All right. Hey guys, first time here in the live stream. Abbas. Sorry if I mispronounced you. I'm sorry. You know that I'll mispronounce names, and that's why Aldo is misspelling my name on purpose. Welcome to the channel. And welcome back to everyone else who's returned. We'll get into the requests and the questions on the second half of the stream, the last 15 to 30 minutes. We've been known to run over 30 minutes, but I do like to get through everyone's comments and questions and chart their stuff for them. So we'll definitely get into it, but welcome. Make sure to smash the like button. We do have that goal of 100 likes, and we are getting closer and closer to that goal every single live stream. I appreciate it. Let's take a look at the 10-year yield, right? Still overall bullish on the weekly chart, right? The week has not closed. It's been ultra bullish. So we're going to find out how it actually closes, but it's still currently bullish on the weekly chart. There were signs of the breakdown on the daily chart. We had the bearish divergence similar to the dollar. We had the weekly reversal. We had the daily reversal candle. We had the RSI sell signal, MACD bearish crossover, and then the candle started closing back below trend lines and back below the trending dots. So what we talked about is, with all of that said, that could be it, and it just kind of fakes out and continues higher, right? And then of course they could come back down, find support on this trend line, similar to coming up like this, find support, bouncing, right? It could continue onward like that. So especially with the weekly chart being bullish as of now, still the monthly chart is still ultra bullish, right? It's lagging because it's a monthly chart, but it is still currently ultra bullish. So I'm expecting any pullbacks, any retracements to get bought up on the US 10-year yield. All right. So we're going to take a look at Ethereum, Solana, keep flip back and forth between Bitcoin. We didn't cover the Magnificent Seven yesterday because it's still pretty much doing the same thing. It's still in bounce mode, right? It's still looking for lower highs. Some of them are still putting in bearish divergence, possibly, right? So not much has changed, but they could be running out of steam. So we'll find out. But as things develop, we'll be continue to watch the Magnificent Seven every single day, what we think could possibly be holding up the market, right? So we'll continue to watch the Magnificent Seven. Not much to report today. So we're going to jump back over to Ethereum, right? So I wanted to take a look at Ethereum. Let me delete that. But before we do, let's run through some comments here, and then we'll jump back through and let's see. Let's do one of these. Come on, help me out. Help me out. Help me out. Help me out. And don't forget to subscribe. All right. So we'll be obnoxious on this channel every once in a while, but let's run through some comments here, and then we're going to get into this chart here on Ethereum. We've been talking about this. We've been covering it. And I've got this question mark down here. Got this question mark down here. What does it all mean, right? We're going to cover all of that, but I just want to run through a couple comments here, and then we'll circle back to any questions. And good morning, Caesar. Welcome back. Welcome back, Aldo. Misspelling my name. Love it. Gert, good evening. Hi, what's up? Aboria. Sorry if I'm doing that wrong. Rick's Moneymakers Health In. Good morning. All right, we're gonna circle back to that. You got it, Aldo. I struggle in pronouncing, but yep, I know. Yep, we're gonna look at Cardano. It's on the list, Gert. Good evening, longtime sniper. Long time? Yeah, I think so. I think long-time sniper. Hermilo, sorry. Good morning, welcome back. Afternoon, yep. Lawrence, good evening from London. If you can, Matic, please. Okay, Matic, let's put Matic on the list. Let's bring that up. All right, so Matic's on the list. You got it. We'll take a look at it. Doc 9,000 for BTC realistic. What's your opinion? Realistic, I don't know. You could throw out $100,000 Bitcoin. You could throw out $10,000 Bitcoin. You could throw out 9,000. It doesn't matter. That's all noise, right? I mean, it's possible. And if you've watched my stock market crash video, if the stock market is crashing like is a possibility to the lower levels that I pointed out in that video, then we could see lower prices versus on Bitcoin versus what the current support targets are. But yeah, I covered that somewhat on on the recent Bitcoin videos as well. So definitely take a look at that doc if you haven't, or let me know if you've already watched those videos, because I do cover that. And I put a big red arrow down below the support box at $22,000 to $24,000. And I talked about that. So go back to those videos here. This one, I think I covered it there on that big support target box, and then probably covered it there as well. So definitely go take a look at those for more details. And of course, I'll be doing follow-up videos there as well. But yeah, we'll get to it. It's possible, but we're going to take it level by level, so I don't get too. That way, I stay neutral and I can swing trade and not be caught off guard if find support at 22,000 or find support at 24,000. I want to play it to the upside or the downside. So, is it possible? Yes. Is it probable? Not yet. Right? Until it doesn't find it'll find support at 22,000 and 24,000 until it doesn't. Right? And we'll be prepared for that. So, welcome, first timer. I know the first timer, he's already hit the subscribe button to be able to comment. So I know he hit the like button too. So welcome. Doing great right out of the gates. Appreciate it. Bounce right shoulder. Looking to see if BTC bounces to make a larger right shoulder. I think it's a more shallow right shoulder. It's becoming less possible. So you're new to the live stream, but definitely go back to these videos or the previous live streams. We talked about this. We talked about this. We talked about this, and we talked about this. So, thinking that the right shoulder, the lower high, right, is already, the probabilities continue to stack that lower right shoulder was already put in. And so we'll take a look at it on Bitcoin and cover it as well. So welcome. Caesar, just can you chart target TGT target? Yeah, you got it. I was actually looking at that target. Where are you? Probably on the other. There it is. Found it. Yeah, we'll take a look at target. Let me move it up here next to Matic. Yeah, we'll take a look at it. Yep. Soul, please. Yep. Soul's on the. All right. So we're gonna go back up. We're gonna start going right through Ethereum. So we're gonna start jumping into that, and then we'll start going back through the requests. So let's see. Nugget. That'll be the first request. So we'll come back to that. We'll just leave that up right now. No, we'll come back to it. Okay. So Ethereum, right? We talked about Ethereum, had that reversal candle, and we kind of felt like it was leading the way. It was starting to break down and had that sell signal, kind of battled back up, right? Put in a sneaky lower high, right? And then started to break back down, sell signal. Then that big push back down below the 200-week moving average, below this upward trend line. And now it's kind of like the last line of defense for the bulls. If we get a weekly close below 1580, that signals, continuation possibly to the downside. You start getting daily closes back below here, right? It's bearish on the daily chart. Everything's trending downwards, right? The MACD had that bearish crossover and is below the zero line. So everything is trending bearish, right? It's possible it puts in additional bullish divergence. I'm just starting to think that, we're coming back into this target area here. It's very close. It already hit. Looks like it might have already hit it. I would have to redraw the targets on there. But as it continues to close at these levels, and if it starts to close back below this level as well, this target will become on the table, right? So the daily chart is bearish. It's breaking down below this pivot point here on the daily chart. It's breaking down below here on the weekly chart, right? So I mapped all this out, this weekly pivot here. So that won't be bullish divergence on the weekly chart. So that is something to pay attention to, where we're going to find out if it continues to trend downward, right? So this would be even the reversal candle on the weekly chart, this would be a lower high here. This would be another lower high here. And this lower low took out this pivot here. And if you start closing back below here as well, 1513, start getting weekly close back below here, that's signaling further downside for the longer term. Even the weekly chart, the MACD is completely below the zero line. It is bearish on the weekly chart. It is bearish on the daily chart. I haven't even looked at the monthly chart. Monthly chart, MACD, well below the zero line. There's no signs of a reversal on Ethereum. Not financial advice. We know that. This is for educational and entertainment purposes only. It is bearish on the monthly chart. The MACD is below the zero line. Everything is trending downward on the monthly chart, the weekly chart, the daily chart. And from the last pivot up here on that bounce at 2150, it is quietly down 30%, right? So this is key support here. Then you've got monthly support down here, 1185. You got support at 1067. Back up here when we shorted Ethereum at 3408, back more than almost a year and a half ago. Many were surprised when I put out a post on the X app. Many will be surprised if we saw prices below $1,000. It hit about $880. We shorted that in real time. We talked about in the Discord, the X app, and many will be surprised if we continue down from there as well. We'll find out. We'll take it level by level, but the daily chart is bearish, the weekly chart is bearish, and the monthly chart is bearish, right? Is Ethereum leading the way on Bitcoin, right? Reversal candle. This is the sell signal just happened. It was breaking down from the trend lines, right? Ethereum is back down below the 200-week moving average. Ethereum is back down to this level at 25,150. So is Ethereum leading the way, right? If so, we have two target boxes down here, longer term. We got target box 3 around that $23,000 to $24,000 price range. I just kind of lumped it all into one box. And the reason why is because of this video here. If you go back to this video and I talk about the fractal that I pulled, there's two fractals that I pulled that look very similar. One hit target 3 and the other fractal hit target 4. So I was being lazy and I combined the two longer term targets into one. And then the second reason is because both fractals that looked very similar, the same pattern playing out again, one hit target 3 and one hit target 4 down here at that 20 to 21,000 and a half range, right about there. So if Ethereum is leading the way, you put on this horizontal line here, Ethereum is breaking back down below this daily support here, right? It seems like prices continue to trend down, hit this third target, if not fourth target. Ooh, deep breath. We're rocking and rolling this morning. We're smashing the like button. We're going to hit that goal of 100 likes. I know it. Let's see if we got some new comments here. Soul, please. Okay, let's keep going. So we're thinking Bitcoin is following Ethereum down. The Russell 2000 is more bearish. And we're thinking at some point the NASDAQ will put in a lower high. So let's continue on. Solana, is it lagging time-wise as well? We are talking about this. Solana, the breakout, right? As a quick recap, it hit 3 of the 4 targets, very similar to Bitcoin, where Ethereum only hit 2 of the 4 targets. And Matic, I believe, only hit 1 of the 4 targets. So in real time, we are talking about how Solana hit the 3rd target. And at what point do you consider taking profits? And even though we don't give financial advice, but at what point do you take profits, right? If you drop down to lower time frames, we are watching this in real time, right? There was bearish divergence on the 4-hour chart. it started to break down from this trend line, started to break down. It was battling, and then the breakdown, right? On the 4-hour chart. And so at what point do you take profit at key target 2, key target 3, breakdown on the trend line? Where do you start to take it down? Now we're on the daily chart, right? We have a pending sell signal. It's just a matter of time before, the day closes and it becomes a sell signal, very similar to Ethereum, very similar to Bitcoin, right? And then will it follow Ethereum and Bitcoin back down to these levels, right? This is daily support. Ethereum's already below it, right? So it's not that it's going to do exactly what the other assets are, but it can be a leading indicator. So instead of chasing a short to the downside, like Ethereum or Bitcoin, where I think you're late to the party, instead of doing that, is it better? I don't know, this is a question. Is it better to find an asset that might be lagging time-wise and then position yourself on a lagging asset? That's a good question. So that's Solana. Let's take a look at Chainlink. No one requested it, but we see it out there. We see the noise. We see the influencers. We see everyone talking about Chainlink going to the moon. We see it. It hit key targets. It was pretty bullish. We talked about it down here. We talked about the breakout. We talked about the reversal. We talked about the buy signal, the move up, right? And now it's breaking back down, right? MACD had the bearish crossover. RSI sell signal back here on October 3rd, right? It was getting quote unquote overbought, right? Sometimes when the magic happens, that's why we have a magic wand up there, right? It's getting overbought. The orange candles, they're on fire. And then a big reversal. If I change the inputs, probably there's a reversal candle here, possibly. But to save time, for purposes of saving time, I'm not going to go in and change the settings on everything. And then it looks like this is, these are lower highs getting put in on the daily chart. Another large breakdown. Trending dots, as you can see, is rolling over and are red. Today it's a pending sell signal. So you can see where, you could see some retracement targets down here at $6.50. Will price come back down here? Similar to Ethereum as well, right? You got that daily support down here at $5.80. Will it start breaking down back below there? It's starting to get bearish on the daily chart. It's still bullish on the weekly chart, I'm assuming. So we're going to find out if that was it, right? It did put in a higher high on the weekly chart. So this is something that is slightly different. It could be lagging altogether. It's been going through this pattern here, but it still would have to take out this level, still have to take out this level. It's still in this long sideways consolidation, right? So it's been very choppy. You'd have to drop down the lower time frames to snag this one, to snag this one. There was this long-term bullish divergence. This looks like a higher low. So that is one thing that is different, that looks different than Ethereum. So something to consider longer term. Did hit this longer term upward trend line. And Bitcoin did come back all the way up here to retrace the 200-week moving average before breaking back down, right? So there was that bullish divergence followed by higher low, followed by Bitcoin hitting the 200-week moving average, something like this, right? Bullish divergence, higher low, Bitcoin came back up and now has been battling it and could start to break back down. So that is one thing that is different. It is currently bullish on the weekly chart, but it is starting to break back down on the daily chart. So all to be considered, depending on what asset you're charting and trading or investing in. So trade the chart in front of you first and foremost, but you should be aware of what's happening with Bitcoin. You should be aware of what's happening with overall markets and stuff like that. So Cardano is one of the ones similar to Matic, I believe. We'll take a look at Matic as well. It only hit target 1. then had a reversal candle, had another reversal candle, had an RSI sell signal, had an actual sell signal, and the MACD bearish crossover, and is back below the zero line. If price comes back down below where Ethereum is already, right? Ethereum is already back to this level. Ethereum is already lower than here, right? That's Cardano. It's bearish on the daily chart. Cardano is bearish on the weekly chart and has been bearish on the weekly chart, right? So this was that last pivot point here at 45 cents. And ever since then, it's been trending downward and is back to 24 cents. A couple dead cat bounces along the way, right? Trap some more longs in along the way. This looks like key support, right? If it's breaking down below that, there's not much like weekly key support, probably down to about 16 cents, right? Start getting down to that 16 cent level, right? There's not much support from 24 cents to 16 cents. So I'm sure if you put on some sort of like volume shelf or volume profile shelf, like anchored volume or something like that, I'm sure you probably see like some sort of a volume shelf right here at 15 cents just from eyeball, right? So let's see, delete that. So you've got like it looks like that was like the point of control all the way down here, like a longer term. So don't be caught in the narratives. Don't be caught on your own biased. Just read the charts as they are. If you start seeing weekly closes back below, here, let me turn this off for 1 second. Yeah, so right there, we're right on weekly support. You start getting daily and then weekly closes back below this 24-26 level. It doesn't seem like there's much support until you get back down to this area on the weekly. Seems like that could be one of those big moves down, right? So it is bearish on the weekly chart. This is a lower high. This could be another lower high. Too early to call it. Could be a lower high, right? That's Matic. I'm sorry, that's Cardano. So that's the key level. If you're ultra bull, you're keeping your fingers crossed. You're begging for that level to find support and make a bounce to help you with that. So until then, right? It's in a downward trend until then. So kind of watching it play out like that. You're hoping it finds support here. Otherwise, you could see a bigger move to the downside. So that's what watching on Cardano. Very similar thoughts to Matic, right? So you had this wick down here. Probably we most likely talked about it already, and that's why I had these. Let's see. There's a weekly close there. So if you've got, let's see, we'll just move this to here as well, right? So this is weekly support here. If you get a weekly close below it, similar to Cardano, right? It's bearish on the weekly chart. It's well below the zero line on the MACD. The RSI is at 34 reading on RSI. That is bearish, right? If you get a weekly close below here, that takes out, it puts in another low, right? The weekly close doesn't happen until, so you got today, you got Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So you still got some time if you're hoping that you get a weekly close back above and it finds support. As of right now, it's bearish. It's been back below the 200-week moving average at 66 cents for a while now. It's just bearish. It only hit one target to the upside. Couldn't even get a bounce higher, right? So couldn't even get a bounce higher. Daily chart, bearish, right? You get a weekly close, a daily close below this weekly support. Then you've got this level here that Ethereum is already below it, right? So this is daily. If you start getting daily closes below that, right, it's bearish on the daily, bearish on the weekly chart. Target was another request. Let's jump into that. Target is getting a short-term bounce right now, right? There is some signs of strength on the daily chart, some relative strength on the daily chart, but it's coming off of being ultra bearish, right? So expect bounces along the way. But if you zoom out on target, it's bearish, right? Could this be the bottom, right? Could it be the bottom? It's possible, but you have price coming very close to March 2020 lows, right? We keep talking about this. Stock after stock after stock continue to go back to March 2020 levels. Stock after stock, big name stock, keep coming back below March 2020 lows, right? You got this pivot point back here from December 2018 at $60. It is bearish on the weekly chart. If you zoom out of the monthly chart, it is bearish on the monthly chart. You got RSI at 36. You're waiting for higher probability reversals. This could continue downward for a lot longer than what people think. It could be bearish for a lot longer than what people could ever imagine, right? It's in a bear market. And you had this like bearish divergence on the monthly chart, even RSI sell signal way back here in 2021. It's been in a bear market since 2021, right? This was a lower high here, right? And then a massive drop down, kind of like battled back up. My thoughts about patterns and but is that a bear flag, right? Is that a bear flag? That would be insane, right? $63. It's possible, right? So my thoughts of it actually, patterns actually playing out, and then actually patterns playing out to hit specific targets. But if that were to be a bear flag, right? I mean, that would take you back down to these levels here. And that's not actually that surprising, because there's several stocks that we've watched on the monthly chart be in a bear market for more than 2 years and have come back down to these levels. So it's bearish, expect bounces along the way, but for long term, it's below the 200-week moving average. It's well below, so at some point there could be retracements back up to trending dots like here, right? And the 200-week moving average. So expect bounces along the way, but I'm expecting them to get sold off until there's a longer term reversal. So that's target. What did I miss? Nugget. All right, let's look at Nugget real quick. Let me type it in. I don't think I have it on this watch list here. Yep, there it is. Daily gold miners. Let's take a look at it. So this is the monthly chart. It's bearish. Let me know if this is the one that you're looking at. I think it is. It's the bull 2x shares, right? The monthly chart is still bearish as of right now. There's not a ton of history on it, so you're not going to get great readings on the monthly chart for like certain indicators and stuff. I do like to chart stuff with more history, but it's still currently bearish on the monthly chart. It's still currently bearish on the daily chart. I'm on the weekly chart. So monthly and weekly. The daily chart, is this just another bounce, right? So you had this bearish divergence, and since May of 2023, you can see on the daily chart, it's just continuing to correct down, right? Correct down, bounce, correct down, bounce, right? Bounce. So pending sell signal on Nugget right now. So it's bearish. It's looking bearish on the daily chart. It's bearish on the weekly chart. It's bearish on the monthly chart. Could this be the bottom? It's possible, but we wait for higher probability reversals. Could have this been the bottom? It could have been, but it wasn't. Could have this been the bottom? Could have been, but it wasn't. Could this been the bottom? Yes, it could have been, but it wasn't, right? So depending on what time frame you're on, from an investing standpoint, it's still bearish, right? So you're guessing if you think this is the bottom. From a swing trading standpoint, these could be nice little rips to the upside if you're trading on lower time frames, right? So, but you're trading against the trend. So, is it worth your counter trading, right? Is it worth to get this bounce when you can get this big move down, right? So, this is going to be a bigger move to the downside, shorter bounce. Bigger move to the downside, shorter bounce, right? So that's nugget. What else do I got? What else? Did I miss anything else? Let's how are we doing on likes? Anyone? Anyone? Anybody out there? How are we doing? If you guys have any follow-up questions to the charts I just covered, let me know. I'm happy to go over it. Let's go back to Bitcoin, still trending downward, right? Nothing has changed. NASDAQ still bouncing, right? Still bouncing. Let's see. Okay. What else? Did I miss anything else? Nugget, got that one. Cardano, I got that one for you, Gert. Matic, Lawrence, welcome back to the channel. Good evening from London. Awesome. Welcome back, Matic. Doc, realistic for, I mean, it's possible. And if the overall markets continue downward, then we're going to think about it more and more and more. But again, go back to those videos, take a look at it. I do cover it. And I say, where will we know that price won't find support? You know, I even put the big red arrow on there. So definitely take a look at it and we'll go from there. So we'll take it level by level. So it is possible, right? So realistic, I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, I think it's if Abbas, if you're still here, I think it's less likely. So if you look at it on the weekly chart, right? So we talked about this. I know this is the first time to the stream. We talked about this from 29,200-ish. We expected some sort of a breakdown, right? We expected it to find support, bounce, kind of build out that lower high, that right shoulder, and we thought it could take weeks, if not months, to play out. And now it's looking like it's rolling over, right? It's possible it continues to build out the shoulder for a few more weeks. I just think it's becoming less and less likely, right? It's possible it continues to go like, bounce back and forth for a couple weeks. I just don't think so, right? It's starting to seem like it's rolling over more and more. And the MACD, like I said, is getting closer to the zero line. And so it's going to be interesting how this week closes. Still have a few days to go. And the daily chart, and it's continuing to break down. And one of the reasons why I think it's less likely is because Ethereum broke straight down, right? So I would think it's more likely that it would still take a couple weeks for it to continue to break down. But now I think it's less likely after seeing Ethereum break down back below this blue trend line. So obviously, the more targets we start to hit to the downside, the less likely it is that it continues to, build out that right shoulder. So it's kind of a wait and see. It's still possible. I just think it becomes less and less likely as price continues to break down from there. So hope that answers your question. Target, looking for a long-term investment. Caesar, we cover this for you. You know my thoughts on it now. Could see prices longer term, March 2020 lows. At some point, I know Target pays a dividend, small, like 3% dividend, right? So is it worth holding Target and potentially losing 40% more value, 30% more value, 20% more value, 10% more value? And how long would it take for it to recover, right? And at some point, do they remove their dividend that they pay out? I mean, I don't keep up on their dividends, so it's possible that they remove it at some point because they have a board meeting or whatever, and then they decide that they can't pay out dividends no more or anymore. So it's possible. Lawrence, you got it. You got it. If DXY isn't that inversely correlated to give BTC a rise, Abbas, if DXY drops, isn't that inverse? Yeah, so being newer to the channel, it's a good question, but you'll hear often that we trade the chart in front of us first and foremost. And I gave this example on previous live streams where it's not correlated one-to-one exactly all the time, right? It's good for awareness. But if you go back to July 2021 and you see that DXY became bullish on the weekly chart and was pumping back in July 2021, but Bitcoin, NASDAQ, and everything was also still pumping July 2021. So you can see it's not correlated one-to-one exactly. And it won't be, right? So it's those narratives, that's all noise out there. It's good for awareness, but at first and foremost, you cover the chart in front of you and be aware of what's happening with the dollar. We cover the dollar, we cover the 10-year yield, we cover all that. But as swing traders, we cannot rely on that correlation one-to-one, because they break down at different times, they break out at different times. They're not exactly correlated, but to a point they kind of are. But overall, we don't do it one-to-one. So let's go back. Sol, we covered Sol, covered Target. Awesome, we got it. Let me know if you guys have follow-up questions. Smash the likes. Thanks, Rick. I appreciate it. Let's help Jesse. Help us. Help him. LOL. Yes. I appreciate that. Definitely smash it. Smash it. Smash it. Help us. All right. We'll get to it. All right. AG. Are you still here, AG? Great charts and targets, Jesse. Thank you. I appreciate it. I really like your trading style. So do I. I appreciate that. I like my trading style as well too. Do you ever look at FET, fetch? I don't think I have. I will definitely take a look at it right now if you want me to. Let me know. I'm assuming, is that sounds like a crypto asset. Is that crypto? Let me know. Fetch. Oh, I put get. Oops. FET. Let's see, crypto. It sounds like it would be. So is that it? FET US dollar, or is it fetch.ai? Which one are you looking at? AG crypto, yeah. Which one are you looking at specifically? Is it the fetch.ai, or is it just the FET US dollar, right? Which one do you want me to look at? That way, fetch AI. Okay, got it. So I'm just going to select Binance because it'll probably have more chart history. So let me take a look at that one for you. So let's zoom out. Let's take a look at it. Yeah, I don't think I've ever looked at it before. So I love charting new stuff. It's great. Let's take a look at it. So you had the breakdown, 2021. You had that breakdown. That was an all-time high, 2021. You had this longer-term bearish divergence. And let me know the context. What are you looking for? Are you looking to get into a long-term buy? What is your plan? Are you holding? Are you hodling? Are you shorting it? What are you doing? Let us know in the comments so we can talk about it. You had this long-term bearish divergence, right? Very similar to what we had with Bitcoin and all the other a lot of crypto assets as well. So this was the all-time high back up here at $1.19. It's been in a bear market ever since, right? We had this nice bear market rally, January 2023, exact same time as Bitcoin. I wish I would have known about it back then. I probably would have, if I would have known it was trading similar to Bitcoin, I'm sure this bounce was a lot higher, right? So 525% bounce. Bitcoin was 105% bounce from wick to wick. We played that with, leverage. So I guess it worked out the same. But yeah, I'm looking to pick up a heavy bag for the long term. Yeah, okay. So if you're very into fetch, and you're very into the AI, that kind of makes sense, I guess. I don't know anything about the asset itself, but looking at it from the chart standpoint, I would, I personally wait for a higher probability. So unless picked up from here, at 9 cents, and then I'm still going to be an advocate of, if you buy here and it's starting to get overbought and then it starts to get a sell signal, I'd still personally rather take profit, right? From this level to even there. I'd rather lock in those gains personally. Uh, and then I'll wait and see. I'm all about waiting for a higher probability reversal. And right now, it's back below the 200-week moving average, right? There was a sell signal on the weekly chart back at 23 cents, continuing to trend downward. There was no RSI buy signal. It's continuing to trend downward. Even the weekly EMA is back below the 50 line. You've got MACD, another MACD bearish crossover, right? So it's trending downwards. Let's look at it from a monthly standpoint. There's a monthly sell signal back here at 26 cents. Everything's still bearish. There is another MACD bearish crossover. So instead of guessing where the bottoms are, I like to wait for those reversals to come out. Like we played it on the Bitcoin, the reversal. We were talking about it in November 2022 of the potential of the reversal. December 2022, we were talking about the bullish divergence. And then in the weekly chart, the bullish divergence. And then we took the long position at 16,800 on Bitcoin. So we're not worried about missing anything to the upside. Waiting for a higher probability reversal based off of the daily chart and the weekly chart, etc. We still took a long position at 16,800 with leverage, waiting for higher probabilities reversal. So we have no fear of missing out to the upside whatsoever. You hear all these YouTubers, all these X app influencers worried about missing to the upside. We don't worry about that. So we will get a higher probability reversal. I'm confident of that. We proved it again on the 16,800. I took a leverage long position at 32,300 back in July of 2021. We're not worried about it here on the Sniper channel. We're snipering the markets together. And I think AI tokens are going to be big. Yeah, I'm all about the AI narrative. I'm all about AI, but that doesn't mean that we're going to see the stocks of AI and stuff pump right now, right? That was a big push upon rolling out, and AI could be fueling stuff in the future. I agree with you, but I'm waiting patiently for that next opportunity. So I agree with you on that. It could be a big narrative for the future to help push crypto and all that stuff in the future. By the way, thank you very much for your kind support. Being a sniper is truly a privilege. Yes, my man, Sniper in the Discord. I've been on the X app for a long time. Big supporter on X app, always commenting and sharing my stuff. I appreciate you. You're Aiden. Come on, let me know if did I get that right. How do you pronounce that? You're Aiden. I think I got you, but longtime sniper, I apologize. You feel free to misspell my name. Makes me feel better about myself. Monthly chart is bearish. Weekly chart is bearish. Gotcha. Makes sense. And I better understand how you use the indicators. Thank you. Yeah, you got it. That we didn't build a strategy around the indicators. We built the indicators off of the strategy. I was trading this exact strategy for years now, right? So for years, I've been trading this exact strategy. And I've been trading it profitable enough to be able to get out of my real estate and mortgage business of 17 years, right? So that was early 2021, right? I've been without real estate and mortgage business since 2021. I let my mortgage license expire in 2021. All that stuff, right? I burned the boats, so to speak. But I didn't do that until I made enough money to be able to cover the income of mortgage and real estate. And by the way, mortgage and real estate, the rates were extremely low. It was extremely easy to bring in money for real estate mortgage in 2021. It wasn't even fair. And I was still able to let that business go, right? After 17 years. So same strategy, nothing has changed except for we're building indicators to visually help with the strategy to help the snipers. We've got bot alert systems for recorded coaching. We've got sharpshooter RSI for recorded coaching. Tell us when the divergences are happening. Even though I did it on my own for years. We've got sharpshooter candles telling us sometimes when the magic is happening, sometimes when it's getting overbought or oversold, right? We've got all of this to help us, but it was built off of a strategy. That's the key difference. Many people build a strategy off of an indicator. We're building the indicators and we'll continue to build the indicators off of the strategy, including the reversal candles. We're continuing to add to it over and over again. If you look at it, we're developing the system over time, and over time, we're getting better and better. The reversal candles don't call it perfectly every time, but the last 4 times it has reversal, 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 reversal. But we'll continue to get better. Grant, longtime sniper. He's on the website, folks. Keep up the great work, Jesse. Thank you, Grant. I appreciate it. Grant started off as an investor. Grant is now a swing trader on the daily chart. I love it. Grant is on the website, video testimonial, longtime sniper. One of the first in the Discord, right? One of the first. We've been there over a year and a half now. So one of the first, longtime sniper. I appreciate it. He's in Australia. If you need any real estate help, Grant is your guy in Australia. The guy is, if he's anything like his investing and trading, he takes his work seriously. He puts in the time, he puts in the effort, and follow Grant over there on the X app as well. And I'm sure he can help you with this real estate. I can't remember the area. Grant, go ahead and post in the comment the area you want that you could help with real estate. We take care. You guys help me. You support me. In return, I support you guys. I try to do my best to help you guys. If there's no other comments, nothing else to chart, we are right over that 7-minute mark. Bitcoin continues to break down. The probabilities continue to increase that we're going to hit the shorter term targets here, target 3, target 4. I talk about this on the previous videos as well, Bitcoin videos. And in the near future, possibly this afternoon, and will be released tonight, I might do a part 2 video of the market crash potentially and cover those major stocks I keep talking about, and cover those major stocks that, for that part 2 and how it could possibly impact Bitcoin. So, Grant, where are you helping people with real estate? Let's get you a plug in there, my man. You're always supporting me. And so I appreciate you. So that's Bitcoin. Follow me on the X app too, right? We've got Market Sniper Pro, right? Let's go over here, the home. Follow us over there, Market Sniper Pro. Follow us on Jesse. Everything is over there. We've been there for since early 2021, posting charts since February 2021 over there. So go take a look. And that's pretty much what we have. Let's circle back. Ethereum. Oh, wow. Ethereum is breaking down. Ryan, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the channel. What did you say? I watched some really good TA streamers. Right now is a hard time. Not a lot of interest in new followers, but you're doing good. Thank you. All right. Awesome, Ryan. Over time, I think you'll see that we'll be one of the best, if not the best. That's what we're striving for. We want to be the best. We have an obsession over these charts. We're going to continue to obsessed with these charts. I could stare at these charts all day, every day. Ethereum is breaking down. If I redraw this target, it's most likely this was centered right in the middle of the target. It's probably hit that target right now. If it doesn't find support, this target is on the board. Longer term targets. What else do we got? Who do we got? John, welcome back. Welcome back to the channel. Looking to re-enter on uranium when it bottoms out again and sentiment is bearish. Okay. Well, keep waiting patiently. Be patient, John. That's great. Ryan, great mindset. You know it. You know it. That's only mindset to have, right? John, everyone wanted URA at $20. No one will want it at 2022. Laugh out loud. All right, I guess you're gonna make me look at it, right? You've caught my attention. Let's see. Is that what you're looking at? URA? URA? I looked at URAJ, I think. But let's look at URA since you brought it up. URA. You know I love to look at it. Global X Uranium ETF. That's the one. You know, $22 maybe, yeah. But it's breaking down, my man. So people wanted it at $28. Who? Call them out. This is your time to call them out, right? Daily chart is breaking down. We probably had bearish divergence, I'm assuming. This is a lower high, right? I'm assuming we got some targets here at that 22 range that you're talking about. Oh, URNJ is the juniors, URA is the majors. Got it. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, global uranium ETF sounds bigger. Sounds bigger, right? It's bearish on the daily chart. It's breaking down. Don't guess at $22, right? It could find support there. You could definitely see, you could find some support at that $23, $22-ish area. But don't assume it. Wait for that higher probability reversal, John. We want to take care of our snipers. We want to make sure our snipers are good to go, right? You've got a high here. You've got a lower high here. You've got potentially another lower high here on like a longer term macro. So we're not assuming anything. It looks like a great bounce from the 200-week moving average. Let's take a look at it. Let's see. MACD, too early to call it, but it's starting to hook over, right? On the weekly chart. But there is, that's a bearish candle. That's a breakdown, right? RSI is breaking down. So, it's possible that it's a longer term correction, right? So just be aware of that. This could be like on a macro level. It's possible. And I haven't even looked at this specific URA one before, but you had this big rally here, this bounce. This could be a shorter term, like double top, right? Pending reversal candle on the monthly chart. So you got a high. This could be a lower high. So just be aware of that. It is still in bullish territory, right? It did have the RSI buy signal. So there are some conflicting things on the monthly chart. So you will have to drop down lower time frames. The weekly chart is still currently bullish. So, but as of right now, it's breaking down on the daily chart. And so, if it continues to break down and then you see like the weekly chart start to roll over and that reversal candle on the monthly chart, it's still only halfway through, not even halfway through the month. If there's a reversal candle on the monthly chart, you could see it come back down here. Maybe it comes back down the 200-week moving average. And then from there, we don't know, right? So don't guess. Wait for those higher probability reversals and stay on the right side. I love the charts too all day. All right. You're in good company because we love them. They are saying making money is 90% waiting and 2% more waiting. Yeah. Well, you can't just wait forever as well. You got to have that sniper patience, but you got to know when to pull that trigger, right? If you wait too long, you miss the move, right? So yes, patience. Wait, right? But it can't be 100% wait. right? Because you got to pull that trigger and you got to take, I'm all about taking a calculated risk, right? So I'm a risk taker, but I'm a calculated risk taker. So, I'm waiting for those higher probabilities. I'm not guessing. I'm not catching falling knives. I'm not picking bottoms. I'm waiting for like divergences, right? And then, even if I took a short there, knowing that there's going to be a higher low at some point, this is the higher probability short, right? We talk about this all the time. Bearish divergence. Even if I took this short, knowing that it's probably hit target one at some point, take that profit, lock it in, knowing that that lower high is going to be put in at some point. Sometimes it doesn't for a while. Sometimes it just goes straight down, but it's less likely. And then that lower high is that higher probability of short the bounce, right? So you wait patiently, but then you attack. You take your shot, right? That's what you got to do and live with the results. You wait for higher probability reversals. You wait for your moment. You take your shot. You put in your stop losses. You have everything, all that stuff dialed in. You take a shot and you live with the results. And we know in recorded coaching that you only have to be right 34% of the time on a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio on each trade setup to be profitable, right? So can you do that, right? Can you do that? What else? Any last comments? Yeah, maybe it was just a good bounce trade for the short, right? Yeah. So this is a great bounce, great rally, right? At what point do you take profits? At what point do you short the bounce after bearish divergence, right? Caution though, because the monthly is still bullish, weekly is still bullish currently, right? Jesse, thanks as always. Great live stream. Awesome. Thanks, Rick. Appreciate that. Do you think third lower high is in for yeah, go back to the earlier on the live stream and previous live streams, John. It's too early to call it. It seems like it's getting close, but it's too early to call it. Shorts that get in possibly too early. Well, it is breaking down right now. Oh, it's breaking down more live. Can we get some more likes here? Please help me stay on here. I still got a little bit of water left. That means I got a little bit gas left in the tank, right? Please help me out. Help me help you. Let's get 100 likes. Let's do it. Let's celebrate that. Come on, let's celebrate it. The NASDAQ, is it breaking down? Was that it? It was pumping up. It's creating a possible wick on today's candle. Too early to call it. Maybe on the lower time frames, right? SP 500 breaking down. Dow Jones already was. Russell 2000s breaking down. This is starting to look like a lower high. We're doing this live. Gold, was that it? Silver, was that it? Bitcoin, was that it? Right? It's breaking down in real time. Sub 20,600. I know a lot of people mapped out 26,600 that it would find support and bounce from there. I don't see that happening. I'm sorry. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just showing you what the snipers, when we sniper the markets, what we're seeing, and it's going lower, right? This was the lower high. This is a reversal candle, another lower high, close below it. The probabilities are stacking up, close below the trending dots. Trending dot is flipped to red. Sell signal, break down this upward trend line. Step by step, we've been calling it the entire way, step by step. Called it from up here. Watch the breakdown. Watch it find support. Watch it put out a lower high, right? Build out a right shoulder. Maybe it's a small one, right? So we've been covering it real time. Sometimes we just got to take a step back and pat ourselves on the back because no one said this is easy, right? It's taken me years of obsessing over these charts to get to this point, right? The good news for you is I put out 60 plus hours of recorded coaching. I'm building indicators to make my strategy easier, to learn it faster, so you don't have to spend years of obsessing and back testing other experts that I said, nope, doesn't work. That doesn't work for me. It doesn't work. That doesn't work. calling BS, right? I went through that phase. I went through the phases of the options trading and having huge swings, 5-digit gains, 6-digit gains, 5-digit losses, all that stuff. And then, I've went through all the heartache, all that stuff. I've been through the 2008 real estate crash, and I lost everything in my mid to late 20s and going back to zero. All that pain I've been through got me to this point. All this pain I've been through, I've learned the hard way. So in the recorded coaching, I talk about it. We go into detail. We take deeper dives. It's not up only. I learned the hard way in 2008. So we're here to sniper the markets together. This is all built out. You guys pushed me to coach you back in March 2022. I never planned to do it, but since you caught my attention, I see the questions that people needed. They needed the help. And so we're continuing to go down that road, and gives me a little bit more purpose in life. So here we are with no other. Oh, we got some more comments. All right, let's take a look. I know I start getting on a ramble. I get very passionate. You can hear it. You can feel it in my voice. There's nothing fake about it. PSQ, nice reversal. Okay. PSQ, TLT breaking down again. Yep. Macro experts were calling victory on TLT after I had 2 green days. You got to give them something, John. You got to make them feel good after 2 years of being on the wrong side, right? You got to give them something. You got to throw them a bone. But we know who's right. We know who's wrong, right? And we can't afford to be wrong for 2 years. We're swing traders. I gave up real estate and mortgage for, in 2021, right? I couldn't afford to be wrong, right? I've had the lunches with my wife, who's not my wife at the time. Big options. We were living together, but big options swing to the downside before I quit my real estate. Having a 5-digit loss. I was like, hey, we need to go to lunch. We went to a nice lunch. She's like, you always pick yourself back up from a loss. Just figure it out. You got this, right? Didn't beat me, didn't kick me while I was down, all that stuff. So every once in a while, you're having a bad time, let me know, and I'll try to help you or whatever. Just let me know if you've had, a recent loss or something like that. Let me know. Reach out to me. I'm always here to help. So, especially if you're in the Discord, you've got access to me in the direct messages, all that stuff. So, but hopefully we're winning together. That's the whole thing. But you always need someone in your corner. So we're not going to be 100% accurate. Definitely need to. So yeah, very true. AG, that's a lot of emojis. I love emojis. I love it, right? I love it. Other than that, what else? NASDAQ down a quarter. SP 500, that looks like it's reversing back down to SP 500, right? Seems like that's the bounce key target area, right? Dow Jones looks like it's reversing. Russell 2000, we talked about all this. None of this is new. Everyone's still hanging out here, but I don't see anyone smashing the like button because I can't see it while I'm live streaming. How many likes do we have, John? You're still here. AG, how many likes do we have? Who else is here? Let me know. How many likes do we have? Market crash, right? Live streams, 22 watching. We're going to get that higher. Don't worry. There'll be a lot more. Breaking down. We talked about this. Videos, 31. That's it? All right. Well, the replay crew is going to have to come through, right? The replay crew is going to have to come through. We need you, replay crew. The live stream, we're doing good with 31, but we're definitely going to need the replay crew to help out here. Everyone plays a part. NASDAQ looks like it's lagging time-wise. Does that mean the Magnificent Seven bounce is over? We haven't looked at it. Let's take a look at it. Who wants to look at the Magnificent Seven? Ooh, Meta, down 0.65%. Microsoft, down 0.5%. Tesla, down 0.85%. Where's Tesla John? Where is Tesla John? He even changed his name to Tesla John. We were calling him Tesla John. It was John G, right? John G, where are you? John G had to change his name. God, I'm gonna mess this up. Abora, Aboreo. Sorry about that. Oh man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. uh, thanks. You're welcome. Thank you for being here. All right, let's jump into it. Let's look at NVIDIA, right? This is, if you're into the candles, I'm not. I'm aware of like the basic candles, but I don't use it as part of my trading. It's more of an awareness, but that would be like one of those hammer candles, right? Reversal candles, right? Too early, right? Another one, right? Will end up being probably one of those reversal candles. Amazon, right? Those are bearish candles, right? Microsoft, Tesla breaking down. We've been talking about this. It was looking very similar to silver, kind of going through this consolidation pattern. We're talking about it here. We're talking about it here. Kind of broke down. If we look here on the 4-hour chart, right? Reversal candle. We talked about it on the previous live stream, right? And then still, this will be the first 4-hour candle back below it. It's still early in Tesla. Could continue to consolidate before having possibly a bigger breakdown, right? Apple, that's a bearish candle, right? On the 4-hour. That is an engulfing candle. Like, I'm not a candle expert, but on Google 4-hour chart, that's an engulfing bearish candle, right? So it's good to be aware of them all. I just didn't build a strategy off of it. I'm drawing this trend line from there to there and then extending it out, right? I didn't build a strategy off of it, but I am aware of it. That's an bearish engulfing candle where it starts up higher and then engulfs this entire candle. That is bearish, right? So I am aware of it, but it's not a part of the strategy. It would be the first candle close back below. This is bearish divergence continued out on the daily chart. Always aware of potential bearish divergence. As you can see, right, on the daily chart, bearish divergence. This would be additional bearish divergence, a lower high, while price makes a higher high. So continued bearish divergence, right? At some point, it's going to break back down, put it in a lower high, and that would be your cue. I don't have any plans to short it. This is the daily chart. You can see starting to break down, right? Microsoft, Amazon, right? Too early on Meta. Still early in NVIDIA. Let's go back. Let's keep an eye on NASDAQ. Yep, starting to break back down. Okay. So, Magnificent 7 starts to move back down. So does the NASDAQ. Big surprise, right? Big surprise. Let's see if there's any other last comments. If not, we're going to call it. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Please misspell my name like Aldo. It makes me feel better. My own godmother misspells my name after 44 years. So makes me feel better. I'm sorry. With that, thank you for everyone's support. I appreciate you. Let's get 100 likes. We're going to keep doing this day in, day out, Monday through Friday on the live streams. We're going to put out a bigger video on possibly the stock market crash 2.0. We're going to cover some major stocks that have already gone down to lower levels. And I think I'm going to be able to get it done today. If not, last time when it became a longer video, I spent 25 minutes on it, and I had to do it on a Saturday. So it's coming. It's going to come out possibly today, Friday, or Saturday. With that, thank you so much. I hope you have a good day, and we'll see you on the next live stream.